UCLA continues its relentless attack. Shackelford's 22nd point of the night ends the scoring. Once more, John Wooden's style of play was being executed in textbook fashion.
Who's the epitome of a great coach and a great person? John Wooden.
He was a great mentor to me, and it wasn't just about basketball, it was about life.
I think more than learning from his pyramid, I just learned from how he behaved.
I had two great mentors in my life, my own father and my coach, Coach Wooden.
John Wooden's genius had been extended for another season. UCLA had won its 5th consecutive national championship. It's a record which appears virtually unbreakable.
As great of a basketball coach as he was, I think you're missing it if you look solely at that.
They thought he was teaching basketball, but he was basically teaching them fundamentals of life.
I realized immediately upon joining the NBA that everything he had talked about for all those years was absolutely true.
And we're live. Hello, hello, hey there, welcome in. I am Josh Ellis, the editor-in-chief of Success Magazine, and this is a very special occasion. It's a big day. I want to give a huge shout out to our crew watching on Facebook, following along with Success Magazine. You are seeing something right now that is normally reserved exclusively for our Success Plus subscribers. And a shout out as well to those of you watching on the Success Plus platform. It's great, as always, to be back with you. All of us today are in for something very cool. In honor of the Final Four this weekend, the culmination of one of the greatest, most memorable college basketball tournaments we've ever seen, March Madness this year, with so many huge moments. Today, we have the pleasure of diving into some of the lessons that have built championship teams over the years, over the decades. Today's lesson will bring into focus the teachings of the greatest coach who ever lived, the legendary John Wooden. He won 10 national championships with the UCLA Bruins, a feat no one, not Coach K at Duke or Tom Izzo at Michigan State or Jim Boeheim at Syracuse, a feat none of them has approached. John Wooden built a dynasty at UCLA. At the height of their powers, his teams won 88 straight games, a record that has never been rivaled. They didn't lose for 3 straight seasons, despite playing some of the toughest opponents that there were and winning championships along the way. So how did John Wooden do it? He did it not by reinventing the wheel as a basketball tactician with a new offense or some crazy defensive scheme. In fact, when people remember John Wooden, they never refer to him as some unparalleled X's and O's coach. They refer to him and remember him as a world-class leader, the greatest teacher and developer of people, arguably, that there ever was. See, before John Wooden's teams ever began winning, he was busy studying the principles of success, the traits that all winners share, the traits that are as effective in life, in business, in careers and relationships as they are on the basketball court. He believed that in building these traits within his players, beginning with the basics of industriousness, better known as hard work, and enthusiasm, he could help his players mold themselves into the best versions of themselves. In fact, he defined success precisely that way. He said, "Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming." Those are his words, a definition that he thought about and worked on for years trying to perfect. a definition that became the foundation for all of his winning teams. It wasn't about the winning. It was about his players making the effort to do their best, to become the best that they individually were capable of becoming. Before we really get going on the pyramid of success that he built, the simple system he devised to allow anyone to reach that definition of success, I want you to think for a minute about Coach Wooden's words. Maybe you right now are chasing wealth or status or prestige. And no matter how much wealth or status or prestige you obtain, you always feel less than successful. That's because there will always be someone with more wealth, someone with more status, someone with greater prestige. And you will always compare yourself to them, and you will never measure up. In fact, by focusing on those things, you actually lose sight of the things that make them possible. So let's think about how you can obtain success, real, lasting success that in and of itself leads to whatever status marker you might want. You obtain success by rethinking your definition of it. Coach Wooden's definition that success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you made the effort to do your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming, is the simplest focus. And it will lead you to results. Today, in this live training session, I'm going to be exploring how this really easy process works. And this is a two-way conversation. At the end, I'm going to be answering some of your questions on Coach Wooden's teachings, which I can say have benefited me greatly and can do the same for you. And if what you learned today resonates with you, which I know it will, then I definitely want you to stick around until the end, because the team at Success has put together something that will allow you to go even deeper, to take the utmost advantage of John Wooden's life's work, and to use his pyramid of success to bring depth and meaning to your life, your work, and relationships, and as a byproduct, to build along the way, yes, all of that wealth, status, prestige, power, and so on. There is so much to learn from John Wooden. So, why don't we start right now? I'm going to show you a series of clips today from our archives. Clips of Coach Wooden, as well as some of the people who learned directly from him. Coach, of course, retired from UCLA after the 1975 season. He went on to live until the incredible age of 99 before he passed away in 2010. Even in retirement, he did his best to keep teaching others the principles that had made him a winner. I hope that you will take notes, because these are firsthand lessons on the pinnacle of Coach's teachings: poise, confidence, and ultimately competitive greatness. How to be your best when your best is needed.
Just above those three blocks, I have two blocks. One is poise and one is confidence. We must believe in ourselves. We must have confidence. Now, we can't have confidence that's true, that's not whistling in the dark, that's not false, unless we are prepared. Failure to prepare is preparing to fail. And you generally know whether or not you are prepared or not. And you must have confidence in yourself if you expect others to have confidence in you. So make every effort to be prepared so that your confidence will be real. And then you must have poise. And you may have gathered I like to make up definitions, and I made up my own for poise, and it's a very simple definition. Poise to me is just being yourself. That's all. You're not acting. You're not pretending. You're not trying to be something you're not. You are yourself. So if you maintain your poise, whatever you're doing, you're going to do it according to your level of competency. Not better than somebody else's because you're not as good as somebody else, but better than others because you are better than others. You're your own level of competency. If you have poise, you'll always be able to do that. If you don't have poise, you won't be able to do it. You'll be those that aren't much good in the clutch. I had some, at UCLA, I had some great free throw shooters in practice, but they weren't good in games. And I had one that was probably as fine a free throw shooter I'd ever had, and I never wanted to see him get on the line if we hadn't have the free throw. I had others that weren't all that good in practice, but they were good in the clutch situations. You can't do that without poise and without believing in yourself. So above those poise and confidence and all these blocks below, I think give you poise and confidence. If you're not going to have it that's real unless you're industrious and enthusiastic, and if you're not friendly and loyal and cooperative, and if you're not conditioned, if you're not alert and alive, if you don't have initiative or afraid to fail, if you're not intent, and if you're not conditioned and you don't maintain self-control, and if you don't have the skills and be able to execute quickly and properly, and if you aren't considerate of others, you won't have poise and confidence. And if you have, that's going to make you competitive. The last block, competitive greatness, really enjoying it when it's difficult. I dare say, if you'd all start and think, I think you'd say that the greatest pleasures you have in doing something that's difficult, something that requires your best. That's more fun than doing something anybody else can do. You know, our alumni wouldn't agree with that. They like for us, basketball, they'd like to win by 50 points. Now, is there any great pleasure in beating another team by that? No, not real pleasure. No pleasure in losing either. But, but there is pleasure in being involved in a difficult situation. I think there's certainly joy in that. And the great competitor enjoys it. Grantland Rice again said something, the great competitor, and he said, beyond the winning and the goal, beyond the glory and the fame, he feels the flame within his soul, born of the spirit of the game. And where the barriers may wait, built up by the opposing gods, he finds a thrill in bucking fate and riding down the endless odds. Where others wither in the fire or fall below some raw mishap, where others lag behind or tire and break beneath the handicap, he finds a new and deeper thrill to take him on the uphill spin because the test is greater still and something he can revel in. The good competitor revels in it when it's difficult, gets the most joy out of being involved in a difficult situation.
All right. Welcome back in, everybody. Let's talk about what we just heard. For all of you watching on Facebook who aren't currently members of Success Plus, I really would love for you to join us there. You can get a trial membership for just $1, by the way, by visiting success.com/plus. And today's live training will take on the structure I follow most months with our live trainings at Success Plus. This is a little preview for you. We do occasionally welcome in guest coaches and teachers who share incredible lessons of their own. But more often the live trainings are me sharing some of my favorite lessons that I have had the pleasure to absorb in my own study of the Success Archives. That really is the greatest thing about being a part of the magazine. My job is literally to study success. And we have a fantastic library that has all of the greatest wisdom in it. And Coach Wooden's teachings may be the finest example. So we'll be watching a few clips and I'll be distilling my thoughts and takeaways on those clips and hopefully directing you to recognize a few light bulb moments, aha moments for yourself. Now, the clip we just saw was really about setting the table for the rest of today's session. In that clip, you heard Coach Wooden talk through the very tip top of his pyramid of success, competitive greatness. But you also heard him explain the two traits that support it, confidence and poise. because you cannot be your best when your best is called for if you don't believe that you have the ability, or if you are not fully prepared. And you can't be your best when your best is called for if you wilt under pressure. Competitive greatness really is the difference in winning and losing. It is the greatest marker, maybe, of success in life. You may not have an opponent like another basketball team to test you, but you will face hard times and setbacks. And do you rise to the occasion? You will have big moments in your life. Maybe it's a meeting with an investor. Maybe it's a job interview. Maybe it's a first date with the person who you were meant to marry. So will you rise to the occasion in those biggest moments? That is what greatness is all about. If you're not familiar with Coach Wooden's pyramid of success, he actually explained it in short order in that clip. He mentioned industriousness and enthusiasm. He said those are the cornerstones of success, of being able to build up to competitive greatness. And in between them, on the foundational level, he filled in the traits of friendship, cooperation, and loyalty. Those 5 things support the next level of traits: self-control, alertness, initiative, and intentness. And those 4 support the next 3: condition, skill, team spirit, which in turn support confidence and poise, which allow for greatness. In the pyramid, each powerful trait allows you to build upward, to reach your pinnacle, to be the best you are capable of becoming. To get the full effect, you have to do the work for yourself, mastering the entire pyramid. But today, I'm fast forwarding you to the very top to show you what lies ahead if you put in the work, if you take on Coach Wooden's challenge. So let's talk confidence. Coach Wooden once said, "There is no stronger steel than well-founded belief in yourself, the knowledge that your preparation is fully complete and that you are ready." Confidence is, I'm quoting, respect without fear. It may come from being prepared and keeping all things in proper perspective. It's impossible to manufacture confidence. You build it through your hard work, through determination and focus, through pursuing your goals, improving your skill, and working on each block of the pyramid of success. Over time, you will develop confidence. You will stop fearing your ability. You will respect your opponents. You will respect challenges, but you know that you will be prepared to deal with them. However, you do need to keep your confidence from turning into arrogance. Arrogance is the idea that you can repeat achievements without putting forward the same amount of hard work that turned you into who you are now. When you reach your highest level of competency, you will experience confidence. Okay, and poise, which also supports competitive greatness. Coach Wooden called poise just being yourself, being at ease in any situation and never fighting yourself. Similar to self-control, but separate, poise is avoiding the common trend of trying to be someone that you are not. We are all unique and with unique ability, right? So when you attempt to be someone that you are not able to function at the peak of your ability. Poise is especially important under pressure and when you're faced with emotions. Have you ever seen the power of a high pressure situation get to someone? Have you ever noticed how some people change when they are presented with new difficult experiences? Have you heard of leaders who transformed when they took on a leadership role? No matter what happens, you want to be yourself. Be at ease. Know that you can and you will make it through, but only as yourself. All right, a lot to think about there. Let's move on to what this is all building toward: competitive greatness.
His philosophy of not being afraid to fail, it's pretty interesting when you think about him as a high school player, and he was an All-State, Indiana All-State player, and they played for the state championship, had won the state championship, and now they were about to win again. He had a free throw late in the game that would have won it or tied the championship, and he missed the free throw, and then he goes in the locker room. These are high school kids in Martinsville, Indiana, and they're crying, but he wasn't crying. He wasn't afraid to fail. He played the best he could play, and he used that expression over and over again. Just be the best that you can be. That's all I can ask of you.
He was the most competitive person I've ever met, in a clean way. He wasn't going to do something that broke the rules, but he was a tenacious competitor.
But the competitiveness for me, he's right at the top of the list. You know, the kind gentleman and a gentleman in the truest sense of the word, but one of the fiercest competitors I've ever known. And you just look at the success he had, and it's not easy. There were other guys out there that are pretty good, and but the competitiveness of Coach Wooden was one of his greatest traits.
Does the last championship team, does that have a special place in your heart?
Yes, it does, Jack. Maybe I've often asked about this, and I've said that I've listed 5 teams that gave me great satisfaction, but of championship teams, there's 3 of the 5 listed there, and there's the first one, and that gave me a great joy and satisfaction because they weren't expected to win. I think they were rated 77th in the nation in the beginning of the year. The Dick Vitales and the Al McGuires had them rated 77th, and we went through undefeated, won the championship. The first one. And the last one, we weren't, because we had lost 2 superstars from the team the year before, Bill Walton and Keith Wilkes, and they were superstars. And we'd also lost our starting guards that had been our starting guards for 2 years. Now we lost 4 starters, and 2 of them had been starters every year. They'd been there, and the other 2 had been starters the last 2 years. Well, how are you going to come back and win with just one returning, unless he would be an Alcindor or someone like that? And he was a great leader for us and a great competitor in David Myers, and just one of the finest spirited competitors I've ever had, and a great leader on the team. One of the few times that I've appointed a captain for the entire year, because I knew he just had what you'd want in a captain, leading your team. And they did win it, so that gave me a lot of satisfaction. And furthermore, they gave me no trouble on or off the floor. Just a great bunch of young fellas to work. I had a nice blend of youngsters coming up, but that had ability, but they hadn't developed yet, and they came along extremely well. And then I had great leadership in the senior. And then the other team, the championship teams that gave me great satisfactions, is the team that I called the team without. And of course, that's the team without Alcindor. Many coaches had said when we had Alcindor, wait till he's gone, you know, they'll get their comeuppance, you'll see. And so to come back and win after he's gone the next year and win the next 4 years in a row and 5 out of 6 gave me great satisfaction. But that team without, so those 3 as far as the championships teams gave me the greatest satisfaction. But I had some teams that didn't win national championships that probably gave me as much pleasure and joy and satisfaction as champions.
His philosophy.
All right, we are back here now. Are you starting to see how Coach Wooden's philosophies lead to that peace of mind he mentions in his definition of success? He says he got as much satisfaction out of some teams that did not win national championships as he did some of the teams that did. He also mentions the great satisfaction he got out of teams that won championships but maybe were not as dominant or didn't have as many great players as other teams. The Alcindor you heard him mention, by the way, is probably the greatest player John Wooden ever coached. Lou Alcindor, who you may know better as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the NBA's all-time leading scorer, who most certainly was competitively great. But greatness comes in all shapes and sizes based on our individual abilities. Coach Wooden said that one of the best examples of competitive greatness he had ever seen, ever felt, occurred in the last few minutes of the 1928 Indiana State High School basketball tournament when he was a player, not a coach. His school, Martinsville High School, was down by 1 point and Wooden missed a free throw. And the center for the other team made a shot that no one should have been able to make, and the other team won the game. And Coach Wooden said later that every one of his teammates cried except him. He felt that he had played hard and done everything that he could to win, and he had learned from his father how to accept things. As a coach, Wooden told his players that he never wanted them to feel like crying if they lost a game. If the players did the things that were most conducive to being able to execute near their level of competency, and they were the only ones to know if they had done that, then there was no reason for being down. At Success Magazine, we talk about failure quite a bit. Why? Because failure is part of success. Being able to fail but not give up is what allows us to be successful the next time. Being able to fail but not be dejected about it allows us to come back just as strong or stronger than last time and ultimately achieve the success that we want. The same is true in basketball or in life, in business, especially sales, or in interpersonal relationships. Not all of us play for national championships or even play sports, but all of us can bring poise, confidence, and competitive greatness into anything we do. Coach Wooden lived this pyramid of success throughout his long life. He not only experienced the rewards of poise, confidence, and competitive greatness, but he had the immense satisfaction of seeing the men he coached, as well as thousands of men and women to whom he taught the pyramid, to achieve success themselves. Coach Wooden may have called it a pyramid, but in a lot of ways it's more like a roadmap that leads you directly to peace of mind, self-satisfaction, the knowledge that you have made the effort to be the best that you are capable of becoming. Let's send it back now to our interviews with some of the people Coach Wooden taught firsthand to give you an idea of what his teachings and the pyramid of success can do for you. And then I will have some final thoughts on competitive greatness before we wrap things up by presenting your incredible opportunity to learn more from Coach Wooden and take your questions.
The pyramid can provide you the furniture to create the conditions for your home away from home, which could be work, it could be the classroom, or it could be the ball field. And you have that furniture and you turn it in from a thing to a literacy, and then you become fluent, and then your students and your teachers and your employees become fluent in Wooden. Everybody is a step closer to peace of mind. And if you get peace of mind, you can't put a dollar figure on peace of mind. It is way more than any amount of money in the bank or any amount of celebrity that you could gain from success. And peace of mind, to me, is the secret sauce, and Coach had a handle on that like no other.
It was unbelievable being part of the championship teams and the streak. Coach Wooden minimized the outside interference. So he, in my opinion, he created this bubble with his pyramid and his example and his role model and his minimizing access to the media that just fed on itself. And it wasn't that we didn't think we could lose. We just never thought about losing. And he never asked us to win. All he asked was You go out, you do your best, and you be able to look in the mirror after the game and know you did your best. And that's kind of like his pyramid. I mean, he designed the pyramid when he was teaching school because all the parents and all the children want to be valedictorian, but not everyone can be valedictorian, unfortunately. But everyone can be the best they can. And so that was what his approach was with the games when he'd say, all I ask is you be able to look in the mirror after the game and know you did your best. It took all the pressure off, all the pressure of winning and losing. Just go out and play. Just do your best. And hopefully, you win. And fortunately, we did a lot of winning, but that wasn't the emphasis. It was doing our best. And so he defined things in ways that whether your ultimate goal was accomplished, what you wanted to happen, whether that happened or not, you could still win. Just his definition of things was brilliant, just genius.
I left UCLA, and I was never going to play in the pros. It wasn't good enough. But when you talk about relating it back to his quote of success or definition of success, I was okay. I did everything I could to play basketball. I have peace of mind that I tried as hard as I could. So that's one aspect of my life where I felt like, you know what? And you can take that in any direction and say, in any situation, we don't always get the results we want, but we can control our effort and we can control what we tried to do. Life is too crazy, too complicated to control outcomes. There's too many factors. In what I do now, there's my small part, but learning to live with failure or adversity, you only get through it by accepting the definition of everything I could do, I did.
All right, a special thank you to Sue Enquist, Jamal Wilkes, and Bob Myers for reflecting on the things that they learned from Coach Wooden in their quest to achieve competitive greatness. So let's talk about that top block, the one John Wooden placed right at the very tip top of his pyramid of success, competitive greatness. Nothing captures the human attention and engagement like competition, like a challenge. A good challenge gives you a reason to get fired up, and it calls upon you to be your best. A tough challenge pushes you to reach deep and use your skills, talents, and abilities to their fullest. Having to compete to be your best challenges your character and resolve. Competition will lead you to push harder, go further, and hang on longer than you might have otherwise. Competition activates all sorts of human faculties: focus, reward, incentive, real-time evidence of progress, recognition, and so on. Now, is competition stressful? Yes, but as Coach said, competitive greatness is the enjoyment of a difficult challenge. See, stress can be good. It can be a great thing. Stress is the stimulus for growth, for development, and for progress. The best performers welcome stress. They want it. They thrive on it. They know pressure occurs when meaningful accomplishment is possible. Stress and pressure are always there at the doorway to greater success. On the opposite side, the absence of stress or feeling pressure is a sure sign of boredom and a lack of interest or feeling of importance in what it is that you're doing. The only time high performers are worried is when their heart is not racing. Unless you learn to love pressure and perceive stress as an advantage, you are unlikely to join the ranks of the highest achievers. Something else to consider: unless you're playing in the Final Four this weekend, or you're heading into what you know is one of the biggest meetings or sales presentations of your life, then you will probably need to create pressure for yourself to activate that stress response, those superpowers, on an ongoing daily basis. You need to draw yourself out And this top building block on your pyramid of success helps you do that. Your competitive greatness, as John Wooden called it, is being your best when your best is called for, and you get to decide that. Coach Wooden believed it was our duty to try to make each day a masterpiece. And to do that, you have to feel some pressure at all times. So focus in on today. As it so happens, you have an incredible opportunity in front of you today. You've heard all about Coach Wooden's pyramid of success. Do you see how it can provide an incredible roadmap for achieving the greatness you desire? Do you see how it translates not just to basketball, but to life? Do you want to learn about the entire pyramid, block by block, and build up to competitive greatness? Well, I'm excited to tell you about a limited time opportunity to learn and grow more as you immerse yourself in Coach John Wooden's greatest work by joining hundreds of other achievers in a comprehensive digital membership course focused on teaching you the Pyramid of Success. Sign up for the Pyramid of Success course is going on right now, but there are only a few more days left to get in on it. What do you get when you enroll? The core of the program consists of 10 lessons developed using recordings of Coach Wooden's teachings, feedback from others, people who learn from him, and step-by-step lessons that he created that you can follow to lead your championship life. Included is a workbook, a PDF course workbook, more than 100 pages that'll help you to study and internalize Coach Wooden's principles. Plus, you receive 5 limited time free bonuses valued in and of themselves at more than $1,500. It's hours of Coach's timeless truths, universal laws, and success principles that'll generate unprecedented results for you. I could go on and on about this incredible course, but I'll just let you discover more for yourself and hear from others who have signed up and experienced awesome results. Just click on the link in the Facebook chat or that appears pinned above or on the viewing page for Success Plus members. And to sweeten the deal just a bit, we're going to kick in a special additional surprise bonus just for you when you enroll today. It's the everyday guide to Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success. Remember, make each day your masterpiece, every day. It's an easy to read day-to-day guide for bringing the Wooden effect into your life. In this 25-page PDF guide, you're going to discover 19 lessons based on Coach Wooden's teachings and the Pyramid of Success, each with an exercise that you can complete in just a few minutes. Plus, you'll have immediate access to 3 noteworthy John Wooden videos to help you further build your championship life. Don't wait. This amazing opportunity will end in just a few days. Click on the link to find out more about how you can be part of the Spring 2019 Pyramid of Success course. Okay, I've promised that we would get to some of your questions in today's live training before the presentation ended, so let's do it now. We put out the call for some of your questions from our Success Plus crew earlier this week, and we've gotten some great responses. And while those clips were rolling, I also knew that a bunch of comments were popping up on Facebook as well. So my team is feeding me a few of the very best questions, and I will do my best to answer them. Let me just see here, pull this up. We will get to those questions. Okay, so we have one here that is from Lisa. And Lisa asks why industriousness and enthusiasm are at the base of the pyramid. Why are they the cornerstones? Industriousness is there because Coach Wooden believed there was no substitute for hard work. Hard work is a trait that you see in almost every successful person. You have to work beyond the ability of others to achieve more than others. And then, of course, enthusiasm, Lisa. Coach believed that all great competitors have their heart in what they do. Their enthusiasm for whatever it is they do ignites the flame of hard work, turning it into industriousness. It's true enjoyment of what you're doing. It's true that that's the key to it all. And enthusiasm doesn't just have an impact on your ability to work hard. It has an incredible impact on those around you. When you approach your work, difficult challenges or tasks with enthusiasm, then you set the tone for yourself and the people that you rely on, the people who rely on you every day. As you work through the pyramid, you're going to see that teamwork is such an important part of everything. And enthusiasm really sets the stage for all of it. Okay, another question. Thank you, Lisa, for your question. This one is from Mike. And Mike asks about the course. He says, I'm really interested in learning about the Pyramid of Success course, but I'm currently in night school while working full-time. Can I take the course later? Well, Mike, one of the great things about this course is that you can make it self-paced. Even though the modules, those 10 core lessons I mentioned, even though they're delivered to you digitally over a period of 10 weeks, you can watch or listen on your own time. The success principles that you learn will make a great supplement to your studies in night school, and you can revisit them at any time that you want. Plus, you can access the course on your Success Academy library that will be set up via a smartphone or tablet whenever you want, wherever you are. So thank you for your question, Mike. We hope that you will take advantage of the opportunity to learn more. All right, one last question. We will take this one from Shay. And Shay is asking about the course as well. Shay asked, do I have to be a sports or basketball fan to get anything out of the Pyramid of Success course? Shay, whether you're a sports fan or not, you will get incredible value from Coach Wooden's Pyramid of Success. John Wooden considered himself a teacher above all else. While his success on the basketball court is universally celebrated, his lessons extend far beyond the realm of sports. And as I've said, they can be applied in business as well as in your individual life, in any way. In the course, you're going to hear from a variety of people who considered Coach a mentor. Best-selling author, leadership expert, Success Magazine contributor John C. Maxwell. You'll hear from management guru Ken Blanchard, the actor, the acclaimed actor Beau Bridges, former CBS TV executive Andy Hill, Pastor Dudley Rutherford, and best-selling author and mentor to high performers, my friend Darren Hardy. They're all in there, testifying about what they learned from Coach Wooden. So thank you for the question, Shay, and everybody. All right, that just about wraps it up for this special edition of our monthly live trainings through Success Plus. Thanks for joining us. A special thanks to both the Success Plus subscribers as well as those of you watching on Facebook. We want you to be a part of this community, so please check out Success Plus. And you can get a live training like this every month, plus exclusive interviews with our cover figures for the magazine. Special bonuses, there's a lot more. It's a great platform. And I have to say that the Pyramid of Success course is a great course. There is so much to learn from John Wooden. I have to credit him, as I've said, with so much of my own personal growth. Over the last couple of years, as I started to really dig in and learn more about his theories, his study of success. He has really made it simple. And diving back into the archives for this live training was a ton of fun for me. I hope it was fun for you. It was great to have you here with me. Until next time, be great, everybody.